commence with that, Ichiro, why don't we play musical chairs again?
Sure.
And
I'm just going to say 3 things. That's
Sure.
all that I'm going to say.
Yep.
I'm going to say number 1 thing is, all right, so Rohit asked me to talk about a little of where we're going here. We've been experimenting. We've been trying to figure out the early access thing. We've been doing these videos, but ultimately we want to get a game. So what is the road on the course to getting this as a game? First of all, what we have right now are sort of pieces of games. So if you're looking at the game as you should be and going, well, wait a second, we have this editor over here and then we have Titans over here. What is it going to look like? It doesn't look like a game. I agree with you. The final game is going to look like 52 levels spread out over the arcology, which I think we do have in the game right now, is sort of a very basic map. If you've taken a look at any of John Elliott's concept art for the arcology, you'll see that it ends up looking like a big map of some really interesting futuristic city, right? This is Boston sky, 5 kilometers above the ground. And so you're going to be traversing the map, going from fight to fight to fight, with various little fun things in between. So for example, you might go to a fortune teller, and the fortune teller might tell you something that's useful later on in the game, if you pay attention to that. Or we'll do little interstitial things like, do we have the 2-dimensional game in the game? Right, so stuff like that to just sort of mix it up a bit. And then various challenges, like we might have a survival mode in there somewhere to mix things up or whatnot. So over the coming weeks or so, we are going to, we're going to try to think of these little unexpected tidbits to toss at the player, and then to implement those. But we also want to add in a narrative. So you guys have heard the DRP rap at the beginning of the game. We want to ask and answer the questions. Who is Ruben Matsumoto? So as some of you know, that's the protagonist of the game. Ruben Matsumoto! He's a dweeb, but that's okay. Why did Tim, your robot bartender, and erstwhile friend, decide to leave you, burn your bar down, and take your 12 robot dancers, turn them into giant robots, and start beating the shit out of everything? Basically, what did the 52 levels bring you? We'll answer those questions. The level design, one thing I want to do about levels was best put by a colleague. One of the great things about Boston is that we have a lot of game development studios over here. So for example, Irrational, Turbine, Harmonix are here. So there's some very, very good level designers. And I asked one, what do we need to do to our levels to sort of bring them up that one order of magnitude of interestingness? And he said to me, Harmonix lead designer, recently left Harmonix and Boston by Dean, and he said, think about the levels not like these things that you have to sort of overcome, but as playgrounds or jungle gyms or like an amusement park or something like that. When I look at your level, I want to see all these possibilities of neat things to bounce off of, and what does this do, and how does this interact with the Titan, and if I press this button over here, this thing crumbles, and so forth and so on. So what we're going to do at the end of the month is that Elliot, Amy, John, Rohit, and I think that's everybody, are going to sit down in this room, maybe this room, or maybe out there in the wild blue yonder, and we're going to sort of do a mini crunch. So we're going to spend 4 or 5 days just sort of sitting shoulder to shoulder and figuring out how to make the game even more awesome than it is, and then we will figure things out there. This Steam Early Access thing has been interesting for us for a number of reasons. The postmortem of which I think is perhaps worthy of another show in and of itself.